Hey all, it's August 13th, 2025. I'm making another short garden update video. It's been quite a while since I made one. I think about a month, maybe more, 6 weeks or so. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys how it has turned out this year, how it's turning out this year. What I'm looking at here is it's wilting from the summer heat, but it'll pop back up once it cools off a little in the day. It gets watered real heavily, but this is a blue Hubbard squash. This is what a premature squash looks like. There are several others around here they're kind of all just starting for the most part. There are a couple that are, oh, here's another one just starting. There are a couple that are getting bigger already. I think this guy right here is the biggest one. Shoe for comparison. But yeah, this is all one plant that was planted right down here in there, and it is spread out all over all of this. I like this squash. It's one I've been trying to grow well for a long time, and I'm finally getting to where I can start growing it well, I think. So I wanted to highlight that one for you guys, but I'm just going to do a run through of the annual side, I think. So yeah, that's this one. This is one of my new trials for this year. This is called New Zealand spinach. It tastes a little bit different than spinach, but when you cook it down, it cooks down almost exactly like spinach, and it doesn't bolt in the heat. It's just fine for the summer heat. So it's basically a form of spinach for like stewing and stir frying and stuff like that that grows all summer through in Colorado, which I like because I have a horrible time growing spinach. These next to it are my basil plants, and I got a couple of onions stuck in there too, but there are 8 basil plants. I basically just take the thing, cut it in half, and then leave it for 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks, and it goes back. There are 8 basil plants in here, and I can harvest, I think, 3 of them right now pretty happily. Over here, this one with the flowers is an arugula that I'm letting go to seed. This is lettuce that I'm letting go to seed. The other one over there, like these ones that are popping up in the garden, that's all lettuce plants that is going to seed. A few arugulas. On the other side, there's a few tatsois that are going to seed too. Here's another lettuce. But so I'm tired of buying lettuce seeds, so I just let 5 or 6 plants go to seed every year, and that's how I get my lettuce now. It looks pretty rough. I went through and weeded all this about 3 weeks ago. It's really popped back up, but that's okay. I got some beets kind of spaced around in here. And I think they're ready for harvest. You know, they're in pretty good shape. My peppers are doing well. Few of the plants have died. This Buena Mulata is dying off, and one of them died off earlier, so I'm down to 1 Buena Mulata. I think I'm down to 2 arbol chilies. These are bird peppers, chile tepin. They're wild Mexican peppers, and they're spicy. They're real spicy. One of those plants is dying off. The other 2 are fine. I need to figure out a better method of staking these up than what I have been doing in the past. I might start growing peppers in tomato cages. They need more support than I'm giving them with these little bamboo stakes. Chinese 5-color pepper. I just took off all the ones that were 5-colored and donated them to the food bank. So these plants are all pretty purple right now, but they're going to be looking real stunning in another few weeks again. This, I believe, is jalapeno. I think. Yep, this is a jalapeno, the jalapeno row. Those are doing well. Hatch chili or Jimmy Nardello's. I'm not sure which one I put in which spot. They both look real similar when they are green. It's when they start reddening up that I can really tell the difference. Let's see. This is a row of datil peppers here. These guys they're not a ton of peppers on them, but also they're real slow maturing. At least for Colorado weather, like they do mature, but I only get 1 crop right towards the end of the year from them. But that's kind of my favorite drying and cooking pepper through the winter. And then this is another either Hatch or Jimmy Nardello. I think this is the Jimmy Nardello. I think so. Can't remember what I planted here. Some kind of squash, but I will see once it starts putting on squash. The lovage plants are head high. And I've been eating on that a little bit this year. I'm glad that I planted these. Sarah can't stand it, but I like it. This is the kale patch. Have this tall one next to the stake is 1,000 head kale. There are a couple of Russian red kale underneath it. And then over here is the sunboar kale, which makes these nice pretty purple leaves. It doesn't taste quite as nice as the kale in the grocery store, and it's got a little rougher texture, like thicker texture, but it's really pretty and it's really healthy, and so we're doing that. I'm doing that. I like this. I grow it every year. I have 2 tomatillo plants that are starting to set tomatillos. These things are more than head high at this point. A few cherry tomatoes in taller cages that I don't know if you can see in there. Yeah, there we go. The cherry tomatoes are starting to ripen up. And then this is a row of paste tomatoes right here. Some San Marzanos and some Romas. And those are doing well. They're the tomato patch, I think that I didn't fertilize exactly right. It seems like some spots are short on nitrogen, but I'm not positive. So I'm going to do another soil test this year, I guess, and figure out what's going on. But these are all huge and bushy, and I'm going to get a bumper crop of tomatoes. Switching around to the other side, the blackberries are ripening. This blackberry bush has turned out real well for me over the years. It's a pretty small crop for them this year. I'm not sure why it's not happy, but it's not happy for whatever reason. The raspberries, this patch basically died. I'm not sure what happened to it. It's now a bindweed patch, so I'm going to try and take care of it next year and try and replant it. But for now, no raspberries this year. Blueberry. This does not like the summer heat, but we knew that. I got some blueberries off of it. I'm planting a couple more blueberry plants in this planter. All 3 of these are going to do a lot better once I finish setting up drip irrigation on these things, because this is kind of outside the outer edge of where my sprinkler hits when I go through and put like the hose attachment sprinkler on everything. So it's not getting watered as regularly as any of it would like. Got a good crop of birds, lots of birds. Good crop of currants, jostaberries this year. Most of the plants are doing well. There are a couple over here where chunks of them died off, but the plants came back, so I'm still letting them try. I'm going to try and clean them up in the fall or whatever and see if I can clean them back up. But they're starting to grow into the shape that I want them to grow in. I've got a couple of bald patches to plant more. It's fine. Let's see. This is a dinky cucumber I planted late to try and use the space. It is clearly not doing well. Ow! Whoop. That was a thistle. Clearly not doing well. I need to go through and weed out all the thistles. I've been fighting them all year. This is a zucchini in this corner here. The zucchini is doing much better. And I got a couple of shishito peppers down here, but I planted those late too just to fill in space. And I haven't gotten any peppers off of them yet. But let's see. Do I have any zucchini in here? I'm not seeing one. Which doesn't mean it's there. It just means when I find it, it will be, 5 pounds or whatever. This is a patch of dragon tongue beans. Real pretty beans, real big beans, real heavy bear. I've planted 3 separate patches of that this year in different spots around the garden. All 3 of them are doing just fine. I tried to grow cucumbers up these trellises on the edge of the dragon tongue bean patch. They're not liking the trellises. I'm not sure why. Just cucumbers, no happy, no good. But that's okay. That's why I plant a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff, as some of it doesn't work very well. This is pak choi that I'm letting go to seed down here. And there are some lettuces going to seed over on the far side over there. And there are carrots kind of interplanted throughout those lettuces. Let me try and wiggle my way through. My walkway has been basically overgrown by both the beans and the tomatoes. That stake right there marks the edge of a 4-foot bed. So these tomato bushes are each of them is planted about 1 foot apart, but they're covering 4.5 or 5 feet apiece widthwise. So they're tightly planted, but they're growing. Let me see if I can get through. Ooh, little marigold flowering down there. Okay. Carrot. Carrots down here. And weeds. More carrots, not a ton. I always have poor germination with carrots. I don't know how to grow carrots. I don't know why. These green bean trellises are about 7 feet tall or so right now. And yeah, I'm going to be getting green beans soon. They don't like this midsummer heat, so they're really going to start putting out, I'm going to say, in another 2-3 weeks. But then they're just going to be spitting out until fall. Yeah. So it's not a ton of space for green beans compared to what I did last year, but I should get just plenty. And I like to stack, like I like to have both the dragon tongue bush beans and the green beans. Green beans mature later. Ooh, it's a Japanese beetle. That thing's super invasive and horrible. But it's bird food. The birds pretty well have been keeping my garden, as long as I stay on top of weeding so they have less space to hide, the birds have been doing a good job of keeping the pest damage to a minimum. But yeah, I like staggering having the two different kinds of beans because they mature at different times. So that means that I kind of, starting in end of July, I have a continuous crop of beans all the way through to fall. Like all the way through. This is the second patch of dragon tongue beans. It looks a little beat up because I just went through this entire thing and harvested it a couple days ago. But going to be getting, like, there's already more beans starting on it. So, I'm going to eat one of these. That sounds good. Excuse me, that's that. More marigolds. My parsley is basically done, I think. It's not liking the summer heat. I had parsley planted here, but so. This is kind of cool. First year I've managed to grow my midget melon. I've been trying to grow this for a few years now. First time I've been successful to even get one of them. Marigolds. I like the marigolds. These are beets. It's a second sowing of them. But I have beets kind of spread out through here in the undergrowth, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. But I was trying to use the extra space. This is a delicata squash plant. It's planted right here in the corner, and it's starting to spread out over. There's a second kind of squash plant planted here, and I'm not sure what it is because I haven't seen any squash coming off of it yet. And then base of the Blue Hubbard. So I think that kind of covers the walkthrough for now. These onions, the onions. I got horrible germination with my onions, but I really like the way these ones grow. These are called Red of Florence, but they're a mild, sweeter red onion. So good for eating raw, mostly. Doesn't have the same sharp flavor that I like to use for adding in soups and stews, but really good with salads. That's about what I had for you guys. It's lush. The weeds are a little overgrown, but I work. I don't have time to weed more than a few times during the summer, but it's about time for me to go through and make another rotation. I'm also trying to build out the front bed this year. That's my big project, is getting the front established with perennial, like native wildflowers. So that's where a lot of my energy has been going to, and just kind of less here. But, I'm doing okay for the amount of work that I've put in, and I'm really getting some use out of the space. And everything being pretty green at this time of year, notwithstanding these tomatoes right here, it's a good sign that I'm finally getting on top of my soil health and getting it balanced out, because the soil was not particularly well balanced when I put it in. It's all used potting soil from a grow operation. So it would have gone in the landfill. I stuck it out here, but I needed to spend a few years to get the chemicals kind of leached out and get the fertilizer balances right. Oh, one thing that I'm doing new this year that I haven't done previously, that I just remembered, more carrots under here, is Japanese eggplant. They're not quite ready, but I have Japanese eggplants over here, and this bush is tiny. Like, this is the top of the bush, but it's been shaded out by this Roma that's growing right next to it. Actually, I think this is a San Marzano too, but anyway, it's getting shaded out. So I do want to grow eggplants again next year, and maybe a couple more, so I'm not just growing one plant. But I'm not going to put them in the row with the tomatoes because they just grow so much slower. So that I don't want them to get shaded out and stunted. This year I'm only getting 2 eggplants. Hopefully I will have a better crop so I can actually try it out next year. Yeah, that's what I got, guys. It's been a nice summer out here. This place is very peaceful for me. I really enjoy gardening. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Yeah, that's what I got. Have a good one, y'all.